Hey guys, welcome back to MSc Diaries. I don't know what week we are in. This is term 3. I am working on my group project, which is part of my dissertation. I don't think I ever actually shared with you that it is worth 30 credits, so technically it's 2 modules. I just looked at my calendar because I was just like, I don't know like how deep we are. But for all intents and purposes, the project is due in 5 weeks. Um, it is due, yeah, 5 weeks from this week, and I am very far behind. It would seem, yeah, I'm very far behind. Um, Why did I say I was coming back today? Oh, because on Friday I felt very lost and confused about what was expected, like what I needed to do. And basically like the information for this module, I'm sure I've said this before, was badly organized. Things have like slowly trickled in, and kind of like when I was checking the module page on Moodle, a lot of the information wasn't available, or the information that I felt I needed, which was necessary, wasn't available. Had a meeting with our supervisor. So last week I missed the meeting with my group. I overslept. I've been exhausted. I haven't been sleeping. There's a lot going on. This week again I missed the meeting. Like I set my alarm and everything, slept through the alarm. I don't even know if it went off. But yeah, so we had a meeting with our supervisor last week. And I basically just said to my supervisor, like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I feel really lost. I feel very confused. I don't know kind of where I stand or like what I need to do. And I think, so in actual fact, like I did do some reading. I didn't do as much reading as I should have, but I did do some reading. I did do some digging. I went through my notes that I've been gathering kind of since January, to kind of be like, to like refresh my mind, like, okay, this is what you're doing, this is what, like, this was your plan. Which really helped and reminded me, like, actually I'm not as far behind as I thought I was. The only thing that I need to actually do is, one of the case studies that I was looking at, it had mentioned a data set or like a database. And I was just like, actually, this database would be very useful for what I'm trying to do. What I actually need to do within that database is find out what elements of that database will be beneficial to what I'm trying to do as part of my group project. So I actually need to do that. I haven't been able to do that. I'm gonna be so real, like mentally, emotionally, like I'm not here. Like I'm not here. And I hope for that to change. I don't know how, but I hope for that to change. And basically, like what I've been doing for myself is, so I started 75 hard, my version of 75 hard. I looked at the guidelines and I was just like, get out my sight. Because I have an addictive personality type, I don't believe I don't I don't believe in dieting. For me anyway, I'm not a person that can go very much like, this is me. Like, oh, I'm restricting this and I'm only doing this. I can't, that's not how my brain operates. And it's something that I know that I would struggle with. So in that regards, I haven't necessarily changed my eating habits, but I've incorporated more greens, more vegetables, more like being more conscious of like my intake. My sugar intake isn't as high as it was, and it hasn't been as high as it was since I had acupuncture. And one of the things that me and my acupuncturist had agreed upon was doing things that would help me reduce my sugar intake or my reliance on sugar. So my sweet tooth isn't that sweet, and which is upsetting because I feel like I pick up certain things out of force of habit, and I don't enjoy them. So like I have like some like a force of habit. There's some things that I bought, and have I eaten them? No. Like they've just been gathering dust in my room, which is interesting because normally I wouldn't be able to do that. Like I'm buying it, I'm eating it there and then, and I haven't been doing that. So like it has been working. Um I want to go back to acupuncture. The thing is, I'm concerned that what happened last time is going to happen this time, where like I disassociate and I can't do what I need to do, and like it's crunch time, so I need to be doing something. So I can't do that. Anyway, my word count, our group word count is 9,000 words. And we went to a work event last week, and I was talking to one of the girls at axe throwing, and she had said to me, well, I'm not gonna say she was a girl. They said, they'd said like I said that I was a bit anxious about like my dissertation and stuff, and they were like, well, you know, if you write 1,000 words a week, or like 2,000 words a week, in my case now 2,000, I don't need to actually write 2,000 words, there's 5 of us, so like I think I need like 2,000 words for the whole project. I don't even know how we're setting this up. She was just like, you'll be fine, and I think that's kind of the attitude that I'm going to have. Doing 75 hard is exhausting. Like, I didn't think I would be as tired as I am, but your gut is pooped. Like pooped. But then I'm also like, I did a 10k walk on Saturday. Yesterday I walked 8k. I just walked 9k. Yeah. So how I'm doing it is, I'm like all over the place, ADD brain. How I'm approaching my 75 hard is that I want to do, how I've done it, the only things that I need to do is read 10 pages a day and do 2 45-minute workouts. What I've actually been doing is, on some days I will do a 45-minute workout and then I will walk for 45 minutes. But on the days where like I'm tired, I'm just walking for an hour and a half. Sorry, what's actually happening is I'm walking for like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, which I don't mind because the area that I live in is a little hilly, or there are some hills. So I've been aiming to walk, at least like go up a hill at some point in my walk. Because the issues with my knee rehab, my knee is still swollen 9 months down the line, and we have no resolution. We don't know why. So I'm trying to get to the bottom of that. So yeah, what I wanted to say was, I'm not as lost as I was on Friday. I have a better understanding of what I need to do and where I want to be. Also, I reached out to my supervisor to ask for a meeting so I can just ask some questions, because obviously when I was in Jamaica, meetings were had and I didn't attend those meetings, so I don't actually know. There's like a disconnect of like expectation or what was agreed upon, and like I can see like we've got a GitHub, but not everybody is contributing to the GitHub. I created I was gonna say a Monzo board. It's not a Monzo board. What's it called? It's not on Monday. It's like a Kanban board, but it's online. So we created that, and like I remember in it, I'd put like, these are what we'd agreed upon, like meeting weekly, blah blah blah. But no one's meeting weekly, and not everybody's actually contributing in a way that makes sense to me, which isn't fair to say to everybody else, because obviously we all have different learning styles. But like, what I'm struggling with is like, obviously I've missed a bunch of meetings because I wasn't here, time difference, so on and so forth, and like there aren't notes, or there aren't clear notes on what was agreed upon, what the next steps are, or like, oh, can you do this, do you know? So that's something that I'm struggling with and I'm trying to catch up with. So I've reached out to my supervisor. These walks be taking it out of me. So I've reached out to my supervisor to be like, hey, can I like have a one-to-one meeting with you, just for like my own understanding, to get some clarification of kind of what's required of me, so I know what I'm doing, because my topic is very, very broad. And in that, with the database that I found, what I'm trying to figure out is, okay, this is a database, great. what information do I need to pull from that database to make it relevant to what I'm trying to do, or what we're trying to do. And I know some of the girls they've already found their data sets and they're doing their EDA. And I'm not at that stage yet. So I'm trying to do that. So basically my goal for this week is to have settled on a data set and be using EDA. Because I initially had asked, can I create a synthetic data set? Because if I can create a synthetic data set, the information that I would use to create that data set would be pulled from the databases that I found from the articles that I've been reading. And the jury is very much out on me creating a synthetic data set, because they're like, unless our topic is strictly mathematical, then no. But because my topic is so broad and I'm looking at drug discovery for a certain demographic, one of the issues is that the information is already hard to find because that demographic isn't considered in data sets. That was the main reason why I was just like, oh, can I use a synthetic data set for the assignment? Because what I'm also trying to get to the bottom of is, what are we actually building? Because we don't have a lot of time to build it. Yeah. Because whatever we build, I'm going to have to take that away and add to it for my individual project. That I'm not stressed about, that I'm trying not to stress about. But I'm also kind of like, September is around the corner. Like it's June next week. July, August, September. September is around the corner. And yeah, I don't know. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I also want to say I got my final grade for my database, and basically for me to graduate with the grade that I want, the bar is, the bar's lowered. It hasn't lowered by much. There's not as much pressure on me. Sorry. There's not as much pressure on me as before, but there's still a lot of pressure on me because of the grade that I want to graduate with. And I think that's what's making it hard. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to step away from thinking about my individual projects and only concentrate on the group project, because that's 2 modules. Like, how I'm looking at it is 2 modules worth of work. That's what I'm trying to create and reproduce here. So that's kind of my priority. I'm not going to think about my individual project. The problem also is like, my individual project will determine, the grade of the group project will determine how much harder I have to work on the individual project. And what I'm trying to teach myself is not to hold out for my group project grade to actually hit the ground running with my individual project. Like, not wait and see, which is hard because I do love to wait and see. So basically there's a lot of unlearning for me to do. I'm gonna try to do it because I don't have no choice. And yeah, I'm like, with the stuff going on with my dad, I'm trying to process a lot. And the thing that I'm struggling with is, in order to get through this, I've been compartmentalizing quite a bit. And because I'm compartmentalizing, I'm struggling to feel my emotion, which is interesting because when all the health stuff was going on, like earlier in the year, one of the things that I was struggling with was being able to like express my emotions. And like, one of the things that I remember like saying quite frequently is like, I really want to cry, but I'm unable to cry. Like, I can't cry. I can't do it, no matter how hard I try. Like, the tears won't come. And if I do cry, it's not a lot, it's a little bit. And I know that sounds weird to say that, like, I'm measuring my tears, but like, I feel like I need to grieve, and there's a lot that I need to grieve, and I just can't. I can't do it. Um, which, yeah, isn't helpful because it's a lot of suppressed emotion, and I think in like talking to my friends about like stuff that's going on, and like I do get teary eyed, I do get emotional, but I stop myself from crying, and I just can't. I can't bring myself to cry, and I know that I will feel so much better once I cry. And that's weird to say to people that don't look at crying in that way. But basically, when I was a teenager, I read can never say her name right. Iyanla Van Zant's book yesterday. I cried. And my teenage brain's takeaway from that book, my logical takeaway, my ADD brain logical takeaway was when you cry, you release emotion, and that allows you to move forward because you're releasing that trappedness in your chest, right? The issue that I'm having as somebody that has anxiety and depression, yay, um, is that I'm currently unable to cry. And because I'm unable to cry, I'm unable to release that repressed emotion that I've got stuck in my chest. And the issue with having the suppressed emotion stuck in my chest is that it exasperates my anxiety because my anxiety is also stuck in my chest. So I'm very stuck. I'm very backed up emotionally. Yeah, I'm very backed up emotionally. And I've been trying to find ways to release it, and I just haven't been able to. I think, like, even thinking about it, like when I was on a flight going to Jamaica, I watched How to Make Millions Before Grandma Dies, and I cried, but it wasn't enough. And I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I cried, but it wasn't enough. Like, it did something, but it didn't do enough. And I think, like, I watched that, I got off the plane, I immediately like got to where I needed to get to. I saw my dad, and the interaction that I had with my dad very much made like the sadness of the film kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say it reinstated. It kind of like emphasized the sadness of the film or the message of the film, which contributed to my sadness, but again, unable to cry. And then like stuff happened. I spoke to my mum. I cried with my mum. I cried a little bit, but not like the extent of which I needed to cry. And then I remember like I spoke to my friend, and like I was telling her what was going on, and we were crying on the phone together. And I had to get off the phone because I got a phone call, like a work related phone call, so I had to take that. And the thing is, there have been small releases, like trickles, but it's still very much stuck in my chest, and I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do or how I'm going to resolve that or when it will resolve, because the thing about grief is that it never truly goes away. It just transforms itself. But I think this grief is different. I do feel like I want to cry, but this grief is different because I'm grieving something that hasn't happened yet. I'm grieving the I'm grieving the situation that I'm in. And I guess I'm grieving... I'm grieving the... Oh, gosh. I'm grieving the things that I know, that I now know will never happen. Yeah. So that's why there's like a lot of grief in my chest. I don't know. I might go cry in the shower. But yeah, so didn't mean to end on a sad one, but here we are. I'm gonna go. You know me, I love having stuff to do when I'm recording, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna have a shower, make dinner. I'm gonna make dinner, have a shower. Actually, I'm gonna make dinner. Sorry, I need to process it in my head. I'm gonna make dinner. I need to change my sheets. I need to hoover. And I bought an air purifier from IKEA, so I need to set that up and get it going, because my room is very, very dusty, and like I feel very stuffy when I wake up in the morning. So I need to sort... Oh, damn. I don't have any dusters. Yeah. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say, really. Your girl is going through a lot. But yeah, thanks for watching. What is that? Oh, it's just the braids. But it looks like there's something going on back there. Anyway, yeah. Thanks for listening to me rant. I'll be back on Friday. Bye.